Hello, I'm Mark, poet with guitar. Washington, D.C. is where I live, and today we'll be joined by three of my favorite poets, and I am too also am a poet, to the Poets Reacts. We're just going to discuss poetry, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to be presented a poem that we know nothing about, and we're just going to talk about it, and hopefully you'll all join in. Marrisa.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Lawin. Hi, Kemlyn. Hello, everybody. I'm Marrisa. I'm a spoken word artist, publisher, mother, author in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Remember, as you're watching today, please drop some comments, questions, anything you'd like in the chat. We love communicating with you. And I think our Lawin look is starting to catch. There he is.
There you
All
go.
right. So thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lawin, poet with foliage. I'm from Manila, and happy to be here. Back again, the Poets Reacts. If you haven't signed up for our YouTube, do so. If you haven't liked our Facebook, Instagram, and other assets, well, that's your loss. So go do it, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kemlyn. I'm your Arizona and Singapore connection. I am a multimedia artist, and I do all things interdisciplinary. Anyway, today we are going to have a mystery poem read by our fabulous Lawin Bulatao. And so, without further ado, send in the poem.
Day long this tomcat lies stretched flat as an old rough mat, no mouth and no eyes. Continual wars and wives are what have tattered his ears and battered his head. Like a bundle of old rope and iron, sleeps till blue dusk. Then reappear his eyes, green as ringstones. He yawns wide, red, fangs fine as a lady's needle and bright. A tomcat sprang at a mounted knight, locked round his neck like a trap of hooks, while the knight rode fighting its claw and bite. After hundreds of years, the stains there on the stone where he fell, dead of the tom. That was at Barnborough. The tomcat still grallochs. Old dogs on the quiet will take the head clean off your simple pullet. Is unkillable from the dog's fury. From gunshot fired point blank, he brings his skin whole, and whole from owlish moons of bekittenings. Among ashcans he leaps and lightly walks upon sleep, his mind on the moon nightly over the round world of men. Over the roofs go his eyes, and outer could.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Lorraine and Hobbit.
Yeah.
The head clean off your pullet. Like, that's what came to my mind anyway. I was like, yeah.
To me, it's a little like Kipling. If you know Rudyard Kipling's work, he did a lot of work of, in just taking animals and personifying them. And
Very Jungle Book, yeah?
Yeah, between that and so many others he wrote. And some of the language is also, I think, very British Isle as opposed to American English or, standard types of English or other. There was one or two words there I just haven't seen or heard in ages. So it seemed very archaic to me.
Well, there's also, gralloching and stuff like that. I mean, the references, the author is obviously familiar with it. If he's not living there, he's definitely familiar with it. I love how the cat was described. There's all this feral fury with it. And yeah, well done on that one. You can picture this bedraggled but unbroken cat. And it's really nice. I like it.
Definitely not really that cute. I kind of like it that way. Not your cute cat poem. So this is the illustration or the response. All right. So yeah, it's not a cute cat. It's
Oh, cool.
it's kind of it almost reminds me, of midnight, not a sound from a pavement. Went
Memories.
out and on cold smoky days. That old cat that once saw the glamour, in cats. The glamour cat was female, but this is the tomcat equivalent of the scraggly, raggly, and
Mhm.
broken ears, and
Yeah.
and so it made me think about cats. Yeah,
The
Yes,
stanza, the stanza that I just don't get is on the stone where he fell dead in the torn. That was Barnabow. The tomcat still gallocks odd dogs on the quiet. Will take the head clean off your simple pullet. I totally lost there. I don't know
A
what
pullet
to say.
is the chicken.
it's a chicken. Bak, bak, bak.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
That's why I was
okay.
saying it's funny. It sounded like Lorena Bobbitt. Clearly someone who's grown up on a farm, right? Or grown up around animals in a rural area, and clearly some time ago, because Grolluck is to basically eviscerate, to cut open and allow to become exsanguinated. So it's certainly someone who most likely, did the whole raising to consume on the farm type of lifestyle. I love the word bekittening.
Yeah, I like that
I'm
one
going
too.
to be using that one. I love that word. But it's very interesting. Ash cans. We don't really talk too much about that anymore. Smoking's kind of taboo now, and it's something that I know, right, Lawin? It's something that's not healthy for you. We're not advertising.
Guys, don't do
Certainly,
this.
Lawin
Don't
should.
even start.
Those are herbal. Those are herbal cigarettes.
Ash cans is kind of different because I don't think the word ash cans was used until the 20th century. So that kind of date puts this poem in a strange way into the 20th century, right? Just one little symbol, one little thing like that. If it was unknown, what was an ash can in the 19th century?
The use of technology hidden within the text.
Yeah, no, that's how they come out to give you one.
The ash can is my phone overheating.
I actually like the language. The use of language is interesting to me. He leaps and lightly walks upon sleep, his mind on the moon, nightly over the round world of men. I think it's fun.
You think that the moon could be a woman? That he's actually perhaps talking about a woman? And most likely a very blessed woman.
Huh.
Possible.
I
It's not an unheard of parallelism. Though personally, I like it as a cat. Yeah.
Well, she has a cat, so you could, certainly consider it to be feminine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the poem introduces me as it being a cat, and I kind of stay. Then I'm happy that the poem invites me in the first line, making it a cat. Day long, this tomcat lies stretched flat. Okay, I know what the poem is, and I'm right into. Okay, I'm reading a poem about a cat, and I continue
Stretched
on.
flat.
And I love some of the lines are just so British, his skin whole and whole from owlish moons and bekittigans,
This could be a very erotic poem. Like, if you let me read this as if it was an erotic poem, like it's unkillable from the dog's fury, from gunshot fired point blank. He brings his skin whole, like moons, like yes. I think it's very sensual, and I think it's maybe about a woman.
See,
Marrisa,
I
you
would
could read a menu and make it sensual.
Well,
That's true.
that's because everything can be, right?
Yes.
Don't forget there's beauty in everything, right, Lawin?
Oh, yeah,
even
for
you,
sure.
my
even
friend,
you can be
and your
sensual.
Lawin glasses
Well, sure. It
Your
comes, well, then I
stunner
get that, right. It comes down to Freud, like everything's about sex. But in a sense,
Why
yeah,
not?
well, it's true. But in a sense, yes, it is.
You go tell your wife, and you guys will have another happy 25 years.
There you
It's
go.
like
And
just tell her.
you'll have a bikittening.
Yeah, be kittening. You're
You'll
right.
have a bikittening.
We should market these glasses. By the way, Lawin, we should market and sell
PPR
these glasses to our audience.
Lawin glasses.
Yes, and then everyone could be like Lawin. Yes, I would love that. And then they could take pictures
When
and
I
tag our
grow up,
show.
I want to just be like Lawin. That's my hashtag goals in life. But
we
you
go
know
to the
what,
Philippines?
Marrisa, you want to go to the central. I want to go to the violent. So I loved all the violent dead and shooting and the gun point blank. Same lines, but I like the dark and violent part, and even the owlish. It's predatory and the
Owlish,
fangs and juicy.
And it's
very
necessary violence too. So it's almost like you're making it okay.
That's my favorite line. Is from Owlish Moons, the Bekitterings.
Yes, the Bekitterings. I love that.
That's my favorite line in the poem. Owlish Moons.
Kittenings.
Yeah.
Be kittenings. Yeah.
Let's be kittenings. Kittenings? What?
Yes, let's be kittenings.
My kid ears. My kid ears.
This poem just doesn't feel, as far as today, in today's, today's feeling, and today's existentialism, as it were. This poem, I think, it just kind of it's an antique. And to me, it doesn't feel like it has the modernness of our poetry, and that's okay.
It's not.
It's
anywhere
charming. I think it's
around
absolutely charming. It's like Lewis Carroll meets, some whenever Ash cans, came. Yeah,
It's creative and it makes you think, and that's important for poetry.
So how many? I mean, it's not that you have to rate a poem. I don't think we ever really discussed the rating of a poem, but there are ratings that people give poems. I mean, there's actually a rating system now that exists, in which it's a computerized version in which they take 100 different aspects of a poem and then they give it a rating. Right? It's an AI rating. That obviously is kind of silly, but it exists. But anyway, for us too, sometimes we can look at it and give it a rating. How would you rate this poem?
I would rate it on how long we talk about it. Like, seriously, if we don't have a good discussion after it, it's not a good poem.
That's a good way of putting it.
Maybe on the flip side, like,
I don't
so
know.
bad we can't stop talking about it.
I don't know. I think a poem can be very short, like a haiku, and then you can add so much in between the negative space of the words. And I mean, I think we could go on more about it, but
Lawin's meowing in the chat, y'all. How many meows would you give it, right? I think back to Super Troopers and Cat Game, right? It's going to start right meow. How many meows would you give this?
meow, 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 meow.
That's so
Meow,
true.
meow, meow.
That's so true what you said, Marrisa, because there are certain times you go to a workshop occasionally and you can have 20, 30 people discussing one poem for like an hour.
Yeah.
And you just realize that there's so much, the poem was so great. There's so much in the poem that you just want to keep on going.
Maybe you should do that, Mark. You should do that. You should pick one poem every month and do a follow-up.
Oh, I've got I'll have a handful, sure. I'd love to. But as far as this poem is concerned, yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I'm not sure how much conversation, what you want to keep us on the page, or you just want to move on to the next page. I certainly wouldn't want to bring it to memory, have to memorize the poem.
I would like to know how it ends, though. Like, I would like the ending.
I'd
Might
like
be
to know
helpful.
I want to see the date. I want to see the author. Okay, here we go.
Here it is.
Esther's Tomcat by Ted Hughes.
Ted Hughes.
1960.
Yes, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We're not selling any of those things, by the way. We're just quoting the 60s.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
about the
that's how
time
many kids
ash
love
cans
it.
became
Well, Ted
popular.
Hughes, I think Ted Hughes wrote a lot more, things of interest, and he certainly had an interesting life, with Sylvia Plath and all the rest. So, it's certainly nothing that would have inspired Sylvia that much, I'm sure.
Certainly, you're old enough to have studied him, so.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm
Did
just
it
kidding.
again.
We love you. Oh, your wisdom helps us all.
Oh, nice recovery, Marrisa. Nice. Real nice.
Moist.
Yes, Ted Hughes was
moist.
yes,
Poem is moist.
Ted Hughes was part of the poetry scene, big part of the poetry scene in 1960, 1970. Yeah, he was a major name. He had his 15 minutes of fame, which go on because of Sylvia Plath and all the rest. But Ted Hughes has some really great poetry. I don't think this is his best, but
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to be here with my fellow poets. Thank you all so much for watching our incredible show. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to Poetry Global Network and the Poets Reacts right here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are everywhere, but we can't be everywhere unless you like, share, subscribe. Please follow us. And remember, as we react live to poems that we've never seen before, we don't know who wrote them. We hope you take action with your pen so that maybe someday we'll be reading your poem. Good night, everybody.
good night.
Yeah.